Hello everybody. I just wanted to give you an update and talk about where I'm at currently on this crazy whistleblowing journey that I started 5 weeks ago now publicly. So my employment ends on the 24th of August. So I want to thank everybody for being so patient so far, because I've been receiving literally thousands of messages every week from people asking for support, and they've have had to explain that unfortunately up until the 24th of August, until my employment ends and until I'm off the Social Work England register, which I have no idea why Social Work England are taking so long to remove me, because I've been asking now for 5 weeks for them to remove me, and I'm still to date on that register, despite there being safeguarding concerns for me being on the register. Anyway, so after the 24th of August, I'll be able to give more people more advice and guidance on where to go with their own cases. And until then, unfortunately, I'm still being silenced by the system. So I just want to thank everybody for being so patient. So in terms of where I'm at with the actual whistleblowing journey, I'm currently trying to develop a strategy moving forward. And I've been listening to all the thousands of messages that I've been receiving. I've been making a chart of a spreadsheet of all the data, the anonymous data, with just general concerns that all the people have been raising issues about in terms of children's social care and the family court system. I'm currently networking with a lot of people from not just the UK, but literally all over the world. People in Australia, people in America. I'm even in touch and been invited to a meeting with a wonderful man called Wes, who's a Senate in America. And I'm very keen to be doing some work alongside him, because this isn't just a UK issue. This is a worldwide issue of downright corruption across children's services, where far too many people's lives, too many children and their families' lives are being destroyed unnecessarily due to corruption, downright pure evil corruption that is going on within children's services, which then leads on into the family courts, because it's what happens before it goes into court, and all the lies and dishonesty and falsifying reports from the very professionals, the very social work professionals and managers who are supposed to be safeguarding and protecting our children. And yet those professionals are telling downright blatant lies, which many of us can evidence. I've received so many people's messages where they're saying they can evidence these lies. And it's this, what happens before it goes into the family courts, that causes what I call the snowball effect and the ripple effect. And that's exactly what it is. It's a ripple effect of the lies that are told right at the beginning when children are placed on a child in need plan. So at the moment, I'm currently networking and working with a lot of people who are also, you know, quite high profile or trying to get their voices heard, to develop a strategy moving forward. Now, at this moment in time, I don't know what that strategy is. Like I said, I'm still currently networking and trying to fathom all of this out myself, because this is a whole new world to me. You know, I was a social worker for 3 years before I was suspended, and that included 2 years as a student social worker. So, you know, my social work experience was certainly not advanced. You know, I've only got 3 years experience. But this whole new world of whistleblowing is something entirely new to me, and I'm still trying to find my feet. But I just want to assure everybody that I promise you, I am dedicating every spare second of my time to trying to work out how to do this. Now, how to make the changes that are necessary for our children and their families. We hear about children being failed by the system, which is true. I know this for a fact. I've seen it in a professional capacity and in my own personal experiences, which I can evidence. But it's also the families, all the people that are being subjected to this corruption, that are resulting in children being taken from them. And there are lots of things that I have up my sleeve. You know, it's fantastic that so many people out there are exposing these corrupt professionals and corrupt safeguarding organisations, and that is amazing work that everybody's doing. But my line of work from here on, my main goal is that I would like a change in the law. I think the Children's Act 1989 is 40 years old, very, very outdated. And in this world of technology that we have today, the digital era, there are far too many loopholes in the law now. And this is what I will be talking to the American Senate about, because who you know, can make these changes to the law in America. But you know, this is a worldwide issue, and I'm very, very keen to be taking advice from anybody who's already out there doing this, like politicians like Wes. And so, yeah, I want a change in the law. I think if it's not amended so that these loopholes are not there anymore, to allow for professionals, social workers and managers and other safeguarding professionals who are able to use these loopholes in the law, in the Children's Act 1989, 40 years out of date, to act corruptively and to destroy lives by their horrific, corruptive behaviours, the lies, the falsifying reports. It's absolutely disgusting. And I know it's not just me that thinks this, because I've gained 11,000 followers in the space of 5 weeks. And the majority, the 99.99% of those followers are people that have experienced this corruption. People who have had the children taken from them that stemmed from lies. And this is another thing as well. So in the court, this is something that I want to be advocating for. I think that the court system is just not working properly, the family court system. I can't talk much about CAFCAS because I don't have much experience as a children's social worker. We don't often work alongside CAFCAS that much. Well, certainly not in my experience anyway, unless you're asked to do a Section 37 report, for example. But there are too many things that just do not sit right with me in terms of, you know, I'll give you one example. So a judge will usually allow all parties in court, so the local authority solicitor and the local authority social worker, the guardian, then the parents, their solicitors, etc. When they're writing their final evidence and their reports and statements for the court, usually the judge won't want to see that evidence, and it's accepted that they will each party will just say, I can provide any evidence to substantiate this, as examples in their documentation to the court. For example, the final evidence. Now, if it was mandatory that the judges had to see this evidence, where the parents and the solicitors are desperately wanting that evidence to get to the judge, and the judge to see this evidence of how corrupt the local authority are, then that would help things massively. Because like I said, it's not, it's what leads to families going into court in the first place. The majority of these cases that go to court should not be going to court in the first place, because it's the I'm hearing from so many people, and I've seen it with my own eyes in a professional capacity and in my own personal experience, that it's what happens, the corruption and the lies and the falsifying records and the systemic intimidation that people are experiencing from the very safeguarding agencies who are supposed to be safeguarding our children. So that's just one example of how I want the law changing. And if we don't get the 1989 Act amending, which is 40 years out of date in my opinion, like I said, in this digital era, then, you know, I'd like to work with our equivalent to American senates to change the law, to have a complete scrap. Let's scrap the 1989 Act. Let's make an act that's more appropriate to this modern era in the 21st century. 20 years, 25 years, 6 years into the 21st century. So yeah, I'll take a breath now. I just wanted to assure you all that I am working on this 24/7. I'm hoping to have a lot more information to provide you all with in terms of what I know, because I know at the moment I've not really said much about that. However, what I will say is that what I do know spans across 3 separate local authorities, and I can evidence the lies and the corruption of 2 of them. The other one, Wigan Council, I can evidence don't look after their care leavers, which if you look at my other videos you'll see. So moving forward, I just want to reassure you all that after my employment ends on the 24th of August, I'll have more freedom of speech to give better advice, you know, more honest advice than what I've been able to give so far, because so far I've just been giving people very general advice and guidance. And yeah, I will keep you updated with any further information moving forward. Thank you all again for all of your support. It's been overwhelming but necessary, like I've said in previous videos. And yeah, I just wanted to also let you all know that on the 21st of August in Nottingham, there is an event being held for survivors of trauma. It's the lady that's organised this has contacted me since she's seen my whistleblowing videos, and has asked me to be a guest speaker. So I will be doing a speech there on the 21st. It's a concert for, like I said, anyone who's experienced trauma, no matter how that trauma came about. Might be to do with social services and the corruption, or it could be, you know, anyone who's experienced trauma. So that event is a free event, and it's running on from 6 p.m. at the Beer Keller in Nottingham, and I will provide, if you look in the description, I will give you the details for that. You need to get a ticket for it. And I also wanted to give a big shout out to another wonderful gentleman called Scott, who founded the Legacy Project. I'll also put that in the bio as well, the information for that website. So Scott is doing a walk to raise awareness for mental health in children. I know that his story is so heartbreaking. And he's doing some really, really amazing work there, some wonderful work. So you might all want to have a look at the Legacy Project and see what work that he's doing. And yeah, so I will keep you all up to date with any further information, and take care, everyone.